Good morning. My name is Daniel Goldfarb, and I work with the Wildlife Habitat Council. Our mission is to increase, restore, and manage wildlife habitats on both public and private lands. And the way we do this is by organizing conservation partnerships between industry and community. I'm here to tell you a story of how, by combining habitat restoration, employee engagement, and community outreach, we will be able to bring industry, private lands, refining facilities, manufacturing facilities, right-of-ways into vital lands, both in Illinois and Indiana. I work primarily in the Calumet region inside of the Chicago Wilderness mega region. And as Chris described it before me, this is a very urban, very industrial, heavy industrial area, sitting right next to some very unique fragments of dune and swells, oak savannas, prairies. This gives you a good picture of this incredible density of both industry and urban, but also amidst fragments of prairies, wetlands that are interconnected or potentially can be interconnected to the larger landscape of other natural areas, forest preserves, state preserves. Amidst this huge density of industry and urbanization, there are some great opportunities for restoration, some unique places that can be close to schools, churches, other parks, other locations that can be used by these neighborhoods. This is just to bring you to a more of a street-level picture of ExxonMobil Hammond Terminal, where 5 employees work on the restoration of 77 acres of shorebird and wetland habitat. In 2010, the Calumet Stewardship Initiative, in one of a similar event like this one, symposium, we mapped the networks and the connections that people had, over 200 people had. And what we found was that industry, as well as commercial and advocacy groups, were very underrepresented in this network, conservation network, the Calumet Stewardship Initiative. One way of bringing industry to the mix, bringing industry to our groups and our networks, is by implementing programs and projects that are already set up, that are already established, that have already partners, like the Mighty Acorns programs, Project WET, Project WILD. So those opportunities are there, those partners are there. In 2009, 2010, we started working in the middle of this huge economic recession. We hired 7 steel workers and unemployed workers in manufacturing and steelmaking. And what we found was that their skills translate well to habitat restoration skills. They can definitely fix all the machines you could ever want. When trucks fail, they knew how to fix a truck. And we're very pleased with them. I will tell you a little bit more in detail about 3 projects: BP Whiting Refinery, employee projects, ArcelorMittal Burns Harbor, and also the Kinder Morgan liquid terminals in Lake Calumet. For BP Whiting Refinery employees, what they've focused on or chosen was, because of their high footprint amidst these dense neighborhoods of East Chicago, Hammond, and Whiting, was to focus on biodiversity and outdoor education opportunities. So what we've done is build over 4 gardens, native gardens in 4 different schools in these neighborhoods. Kids at these schools of different ages design, work through an ecological landscape design program, and then employees of the refinery come out in droves in Earth Days and other similar activities to plant these gardens, to build these gardens in just a few days. The second project that I wanted to tell you a little bit more about is the ArcelorMittal Burns Harbor facility. This is a 900-acre steel-making facility that is sitting right on Lake Michigan, adjacent to the Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore. And the interesting thing about this place is that the natural history and the cultural history and the political history of this facility, which used to be the Bethlehem Steel facility, is intertwined with the dunes. Back to the 1960s, both were able to much of the land that it's owned now by the Indiana Dunes was owned by Bethlehem Steel And so both of them were realized or built in the 1960s together. Still within this facility, there is over 100 acres of dune remnants, many of them degraded, but some of them in good quality, that we can actually work with employees to engage them and take them to these places within the plant to restore, manage, and open up trails. And the third and last project that I wanted to show you and tell you about is the Kinder Morgan liquid terminals, where, as you can see, it's right on Lake Calumet in the southeastern neighborhoods of Chicago. And again, with a high template footprint, with little space to do any conservation type of activities, employees there have chosen to go out to 5 public schools in Chicago and engage students, some of the best students, and track them as if they were sportsmen or sportswomen, the way you track good kids in sports, and engage them in a leadership training program that is a paid internships at their facility in science, administration, chemistry. Eventually, we hope that this leadership training program will lead into a more conservation-focused or minded program. So really, in summary, I want to tell you that private and industrial lands are also vital to lands in Illinois and Indiana, that these lands can serve as a link to other places. And that habitat restoration really provides opportunities not only for employees, but also for them to connect with their adjacent communities.